Have you ever been scrolling online and just suddenly felt this pang of anxiety about your savings? You see people talking about their financial wins, and you just can't help but wonder, am I doing enough? Am I falling behind? It's a feeling a lot of us have, and today we're going to get to the bottom of it. So let's just dive right in. This question, it's straight from a Reddit thread, and man, does it hit home. It's that nagging thought in the back of your mind, right? How much should I actually have saved up by now? Well, if you go looking for the answer online, you might find something a little intimidating. So, according to the internet, this is what normal looks like. By the time you hit 30, you're supposed to have like over 100,000 ringgit saved up. Now, if you're looking at these numbers and your heart just skipped a beat, don't worry, just take a breath. This is what we call the online myth, because these numbers often come from people in very specific situations, like high earners who still live with their parents. But what about the real Malaysia? What's the real story? To figure that out, we've got to step away from the forums and look at the actual hard data. And this, my friends, is where things get really, really interesting, because the gap between what people think is normal and what's actually happening is just massive. And our source of truth here is the Employees Provident Fund, the EPF. It has over 16 million members, so its data gives us the clearest, most accurate snapshot of savings in the entire country. So you ready? Let's pull back the curtain. And there it is, the real number. As of late 2023, the median savings for all EPF members was just under 11,000 ringgit. I mean, let that sink in for a second. Median means that half, literally half, of all 16 million members have less than this amount. It's not even in the same universe as that $100,000 figure we saw online. And for younger people, it's even more of a wake-up call. Research found that over 90%, that's 9 out of 10, EPF members under 30 don't even have enough to meet the basic retirement threshold. So what this tells us is that for so many people, this isn't about being broke. It's a huge systemic challenge we're all facing. And when we zoom in on the B40 income group, the picture gets even clearer. For these households, the average EPF savings is just over 1,700 ringgit. This isn't just a statistic. It's a story about how widespread the struggle to save really is, and it's affecting millions of families across the country. Okay, if this breakdown is already giving you a clear picture of what's really going on, do me a quick favor and hit that like and subscribe button. We're all about cutting through the noise with real data, so you can always stay ahead on Malaysia's biggest issues. So we know that having low savings is a big problem. But what makes it a much, much bigger deal is this invisible force that is constantly eating away at the value of every single ringgit you have. You know what I'm talking about, inflation. To put it super simply, inflation just means your money buys less stuff tomorrow than it does today. That arm 10 in your pocket might get you a good plate of chicken rice today, but in a few years, it might only buy you the drink that goes with it. I absolutely love this quote because it's so spot on. It's a silent thief. You don't actually see the money leaving your bank account, but you feel it disappearing every time you go to the supermarket. It's this quiet force that really punishes people who just keep their money sitting as cash. And here's exactly how that silent thief gets you. It shrinks your purchasing power, so your money doesn't go as far. The real value of all that money you worked so hard to save goes down. And those big long-term goals, like retirement, they get pushed further and further into the future. It all points to one thing. Just saving your money isn't going to cut it anymore. You have to make your money grow, and it has to grow faster than prices are rising. Okay, so we've looked at the real numbers, we get the problem, and we know about the threat of inflation. So now, let's pivot. Let's talk about the good stuff, solutions. How can an average young Malaysian actually realistically get to that first huge milestone, that 100,000 ringgit mark? The legendary investor Charlie Munger absolutely nailed it with this one. Getting to that first RM 100K is by far the hardest part of the journey. But once you get there, something magical starts to happen. Your money starts to do the heavy lifting for you. It's the launch pad for everything else. All right, let's look at path number 1. Say you're starting with a salary of RM $2,500 and you're saving a really solid 25% of that every month. If your salary never, ever went up, it would take you 13 years to hit that RM 100K. That's a long time. It's steady, for sure, but man, is it slow. Now for a much more realistic scenario. We've got the same starting point, but now we're adding a 5% raise every year. Just by doing that and sticking to that same savings rate, you get to RM 100K in 10 years. Look at that. You've already shaved 3 years off your goal just by progressing in your career. That's way better, but we can still do better. And this is the real game changer. This is where we add investing. By taking those exact same savings and putting them to work to earn an average of 7% a year, we hit the RM 100K mark in just 8 years. That is 5 years faster than where we started. This is how you don't just fight inflation. This is how you beat it. This is how you put your financial journey into high gear.
So after all that, what's the big takeaway for you? Well, it means we kind of have to change the way we think about money. The old advice to just save, save, save is out of date. We need a new mindset for the world we live in today.
And that right there, that's the most important lesson. Don't let your hard-earned cash just sit there, losing value. The goal has to be moving from being just a saver to becoming an investor and making sure your money is working for you 24/7. So we went from the online myth to the hard reality, and we laid out a clear path forward. If you believe in getting clarity instead of confusion when it comes to money, then come and join our community. Tap that like button, hit subscribe, and let's keep making sense of all this together. So forget what everyone else is doing online. Your financial journey is yours, and it's a marathon, not a sprint. The only thing that matters is that you're moving forward. So that brings us to the real question, the only one that matters today. What is the one small step that you're going to take